If you are new to working virtually with others or simply puzzled by why do your good skills of working together with others in person don't translate as well into the virtual environment, watch this video to understand how these two modes of working are different and what you need to do to be as effective virtually as you are in person or even more effective. Hello, this is Dr. OLGATARA, helping you engage the hearts and minds of your coworkers. Virtual collaboration is different from working together in person because it requires us to pay attention to things we otherwise take for granted. It is no longer enough to get along with your coworkers and be tech savvy. Those things are still very important, but they're just not enough. By the end of this video, you will know the differences and you will have 3 areas to focus on to overcome these challenges. If you want to learn more about how to make virtual collaboration successful, such as how to increase the quality of your interactions and coordination, how to be an effective leader in a virtual environment, and other questions, I have written a guide to give you answers. I can give you more details about that at the end of this video. I've had the privilege of helping hundreds of professionals improve collaboration in their teams and organizations, whether working remotely or in person. If you are interested in learning from me how to level up your collaboration or how to improve your business partnership, I can give you more details about that at the end of this video. Working in person co-located with your coworkers means that you get to have informal interactions with them. You can talk to them outside of meetings. You can stop by their desk and have an impromptu conversation. You can go out to coffee or lunch together with them. That gives you a sense of their physical presence, and you can also see their body language in terms of how they react to different things, and sometimes even what they feel or think about those things that are happening around you in meetings, for example, about decisions that are being made and things like that, which translates into you getting to know who they are and how to work with them. Now let's take a look at what virtual working together has to offer. Why is it so great? It gives us the opportunity to synchronize our work to simultaneously work on the same deliverables. It gives higher autonomy for a remote employee or a virtual employee. Typically, it gives higher productivity because people tend to be more focused when they are remote. Can work across countries and cultures, across time zones, and really 24/7. Flexibility. You can work from anywhere. You can work between cities, countries, continents. Time and travel savings, obviously. Fantastic, right? Now let's see what challenges come with these gains. Working virtually requires technology to connect coworkers, first and foremost, and there is plenty of technology these days. Maybe challenges with coordinating actions and possible time losses due to that. Potential feelings of isolation and the out of sight, out of mind syndrome. Adopting organizational culture and feeling part of the whole may be a challenge. Inability to see and hear each other in the same physical and emotional space, which can translate into misunderstanding, misinterpreting, increased assumptions and biases, lower trust, and less of a unifying field, which can create unhealthy dynamics such as us versus them and exclusion. Potential difficulties navigating other cultures without being able to correct mistaken behavior or clarify the intent in the moment. Now that we know about these challenges and these difficulties and what they are, I'm inviting you to think about them not as obstacles, not as difficulties or challenges, but as circumstances that create new requirements for us to how to be effective with others. So how can you be more effective in the world of virtual collaboration? Let's talk about 3 strategic themes that can give you advantage in working virtually. Number 1, you guessed it, interpersonal influence. Interpersonal influence really does change when you shift to working from in-person to a virtual environment. That there is a meeting that you go to and everybody participating there is participating virtually. So there is no meeting room. Nobody is sitting at the top of the table. Nobody is bigger than or taller than others. Nobody has a more expensive watch, and nobody is dressed more casually than others, right? So from that perspective, what do you focus on? Your biases are shifting. You are orienting to the voice if you're relying solely on audio, and you're focusing on the video if you see the person, you see their face, maybe see their torso and some background. Video is obviously the next best thing, but even with video, especially if there is a lot of people in the meeting, it may be challenging for others to see that you have a question or comment. If you are in the room, it would be much more apparent that you are ready to say something, but over video or audio, it's much more challenging to notice. Whether or not you're using video for your meetings, the way you sound and the way you participate in those meetings becomes of the utmost importance. While it is helpful to work on our own manner of bringing our point of view into the meeting and the way we sound, our tone of voice and pacing, and all the other things about speaking, it is equally as important to give patience to others and grace to others. You see, if you find yourself disliking their manner of speaking, disliking the way they sound, the way they talk, the way they pace themselves, you may be reading into it. And if so, you really need to let go of that, because you may risk losing content of what they're saying and losing the connection with them that you have established before. So once you catch yourself doing that, you may want to let go. I had a coworker once that I was working with in person at the beginning, and then we switched to working virtually together. So from our working in person together, I knew her as a confident person, as a competent person, and I knew that she had a lot to give and a lot to offer to the project. I respected her point of view and I respected the way she worked. When we switched to working virtually, we worked on the phone, and she used so many ahs and ums and so's and ohs. She wasn't sure about the words that she was using. All of a sudden, I was reading confusion even into the way she was talking, not only lack of confidence, and her sentences ended way up there. I caught myself doing that, and I coached myself to let go of that judgment and reminded myself that I know who she really is, not in terms of hierarchy, but in terms of her competence and in terms of what she brings to the table, in terms of the value that she brings, and in terms of that she knows her stuff. And in our next meeting, I was able to focus on the points that she was making, on the content of what she was saying, and I was able to be not distracted by how she was talking. And by the way, I enjoyed the way she was talking much more this other time. If you find yourself limited by technology in ways that you convey your ideas, persuade, and lead, you can do two things about that. One, you can learn to communicate differently. And for that, you may start with asking questions of your coworkers to get some pointers on what you can improve. Second thing you can do is work on your workplace relationships. Really find some time to connect better with people outside of those working meetings. I have another video about how to get along with coworkers that goes in depth about how to establish, develop, and foster strong, meaningful, productive workplace relationships with your coworkers, which is even more important when working virtually because you don't get to bump into each other. I will put the link below in the description to this video. Number 2, get creative by being more intentional. Just like any design thrives on limitation, the design of your virtual collaboration may thrive if you give it some tending to. What is easy and doesn't require much time or effort when you're co-located does require time and effort and intention when you're working virtually. What I mean by that is that your chats need to become more intentional. Over the phone or on video, you need to set up specific time to connect. Coordinating things over email may become not only challenging, but also dramatic where it doesn't need to be. Dramatic because we read into each other's words, we don't understand the intent, and things like that. I actually have a video on drama in the workplace and how to stop that. So if you haven't yet seen it, I'll put the link in the description below. I highly recommend that you check it out. I have a rule that I learned from a friend. If it takes more than 2 emails, 2 back and forths over email, pick up the phone. Call the other person. It makes a whole lot of difference of clarity that you can get over the phone, just simple conversation over the phone. If you do work in different time zones so that your work times work days don't overlap. For example, if you are in the time, your time difference is 10 or 12 hours, leave each other a voicemail, leave each other a recording of a video. To give you more examples of intentionality, here are a few. Maybe you want to use the first 10 or 15 minutes of each meeting just connecting, simply catching each other up. Or maybe you want to set up a specific weekly recurring meeting for that same purpose. Maybe you need to slow down your pace of speaking, or pause more often, or just simply get a better microphone. Or maybe you need to make sure that you ask questions when you have them, or restate what you heard to make sure and confirm that you understood. And last but not the least, the third strategic theme that can give you advantage in working virtually. Virtual collaboration, in my opinion, requires a higher, stronger cross-cultural competency and more fluency in including diversity. You see, when we're working remotely, we have more room for bias because we don't see people in their natural working environments. Therefore, we observe less and interpret more. If you need to learn more about others, you may agree to teach each other about each other's cultures, backgrounds, experiences, environments, and any other context that is relevant to who each other are. This can be not only a fun, exciting, and a very enriching experience to you personally that would help you develop professional relationships with people that you're working with and educating each other collaboratively in this virtual collaboration environment, but also it can be an experience that, the learnings that you will get from that experience that will stay with you even after the work or the project are over. You may want to adjust your virtual collaboration style depending on the people who you're working with, depending on individuals, groups, and cultures that you're working with. So you would be shifting your collaboration style. A very basic, a very simple example would be choice of the means of communication and what they mean to different people. For example, one person may only communicate over instant messenger. Another person may completely ignore instant messenger and only respond to text messages. Another group may only want to record all the communication done over email in an email thread. And yet another group may only take seriously what is being said in a meeting where everybody is present. To take this further, I have another video on 6 main qualities that one needs to be effective in virtual collaboration. If you haven't yet seen it, I put the link below in the description if you wanted to check it out. So now you have key differences between in-person versus virtual collaboration, and you also have 3 areas to focus on if you want to increase the effectiveness of your virtual collaboration in the circumstances where your interactions are limited by time, space, technology, and increased biases. In today's world, we need to become increasingly good at establishing and navigating workplace relationships and doing it virtually. I have other resources to help you, such as my videos, if you wanted to further develop your relationships and navigate challenges. If you want to learn more about how to make virtual collaboration successful, such as how to increase the quality of your interactions and coordination, how to be an effective leader in the virtual environment, and other questions, I have written a guide to give you answers. You can download it via the link below. If you liked this video, please let me know by liking it, but even more so by sharing it with your coworkers and friends that you care about. Please comment below with helpful if this video helped you. Subscribe to my channel and hit the bell to get notified every time I post a new video every week. If you're interested in leveling up your functional or cross-functional collaboration, I have on-demand courses, and I can also do a custom live training for your team, either in person or virtually. For more information, go to my website, drolgatara.com, to find out more details and/or to fill out an application for a custom live training for your team. If it looks like we are potentially well-suited to be working together, then me or someone on my team will be reaching out to you directly. Like this video and let me know in the comments, or better yet, in a survey. I put the link to the survey below in the description to this video, what other questions or concerns you have about collaboration, and I will do my best to make a video to help you. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.